Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi, I'm Mandy Holloway and welcome to the Courageous Leadership Series. This is the third episode. Hopefully some of you have chosen to watch 1 and 2 and have come back for more. The session today is how to become the leader of a high-performance team. So I'm going to go through things that you can do to look for, conversations that you can have to become the leader of a high-performance team. I'm going to invite you to ask questions, share your insights. There are the social media addresses, #CourageousLeadership. I'd love to engage in conversations with you to absolutely explore what you can do as a leader to have a high-performance team, high-performing business by the way you choose to show up and lead. For those that have been part of the first 2 episodes, you'd know that I've talked to you significantly about operating and coming to these episodes in your learning zone. That just to acknowledge that each of you have your cage of habits that represent your comfort zone. And for you to get value out of continuing to be part of these episodes, and particularly when you go back to your business, putting different things into action, it's going to require you to be in your learning zone. And you will have heard me talk, if you've been part of the first 2 episodes, about the importance of rattling your cage of habits. And it doesn't matter how experienced you are, that propensity to be prepared to go and rattle your cage is incredibly important if you want high performance. So you're going to be encouraged throughout this episode, and have been through the other 2 episodes, to take a good hard look at the habits that you currently have. So I've used the concept of looking in the mirror. You're going to be encouraged to have a good hard look in the mirror. And like most of us, sometimes we don't always see what we see in the mirror. And that's going to happen as a leader. Sometimes you're going to have a look in there and you'll go, wow, am I really doing that? Is that really the kind of leader I want to be? Are those kind of conversations I want to have? So habits are the knowledge that you bring, the skills that you bring, but very importantly, your desire and attitude and propensity to want to rattle your cage and change the nature of some of the conversations you have in order to enable and empower high performance. So you will also have heard me talk about the concept of peeling the onion. We're very complex human beings, you know. We bring values, we bring preferences. So in the first episode, we looked at our dominant preferences, our personality preferences, where we go quickly and easily, and the impact that has on how we turn up, but also importantly, the impact it has on other people in the team. We looked at in the last episode at the importance of your values, because they determine the focus that you bring as a leader. And what we're going to look at in this episode, very importantly, are your behaviours. And they're exuded through your conversations. The conversation where you share a decision, the conversation where you ignite curiosity and innovation, the conversation where you give performance feedback, the conversation where you align people's expectations around where you're going as a business. So we're going to have a look at the types of conversations that you can be having and the types of behaviours that you bring as a leader in your small business. Again, something we've looked at before is very much looking at ideal self. I'm not going to say this is what you have to do to be an effective leader. There are many, many ways of being an effective leader. So this is about you determining ideal self. What kind of leader do you want to be? And there are going to be lots of choices that you're faced with today. And I'm going to encourage you to go back to your workplace and get some feedback on real self. Well, how am I turning up? Am I giving you enough clarity on where we're going and how we're intending to get there, and how significant you are to that journey? So I'm going to encourage you to go and have some conversations back in your workplace where you're getting feedback on real self, so that you're creating your own learning agenda as a leader in a small business to actually then give you the courage and that confidence, conviction to go and experiment and practice. So you're getting closer to the kind of leader you really want to be and the kind of leader that your business needs you to be, so that you can realise the full potential and be in that high-performing space, not only as a leader, as a team, and as a business. So when we talk about high performance, I find it really interesting and encouraging to actually look and say, well, what is a high-performing team? And I often get, people to write down what would be the 10 or 12 attributes if you think of a high-performing team that you've been part of, or you've seen a high-performing sports team. Sorry, guys, but, we often talk about the All Blacks in rugby union because they have been on that world stage, a really, really high-performing team. So what do they do in order to be high-performing? Now, some of you may have heard of a chap by the name of Tuckman, and he created a framework that talked about the stages of team development. So what I'm going to do is share that with you, because again, it's a simple model, but something very tangible that you can go back to your business and use as a framework. So quite simply, what we want is to be in this open space, because this is where we perform. So we want high performance. We want to be in this open space where we're completely transparent, honest, and real with each other. For that to happen, as a leader, we have to have the courage to share what we're really thinking and feeling. And for many of us, we don't do that. We're scared of the consequences. We're not sure how the person's going to react. Maybe better to stay with current status quo than try and disrupt it. Because after all, we want to deliver to customers and clients, we've got to keep them happy, they're paramount. And we've got all the excuses that we use. Winston Churchill was known for saying that not only does it take courage to share what you're thinking and feeling, it takes great courage to listen when others are sharing with you. In fact, it probably takes just as much courage, because sometimes they're saying things that maybe you really don't want to hear. You don't like. They make you angry. So if we want to be in this open space, and we truly want to be a high-performing team, every single person in the team has to have the courage to share how they're really thinking and feeling. And when people are sharing, we have to have the courage to listen. What I'm going to say to you, though, is that in all my experience of working with many, many business teams, there's very few that operate in that space. Where they actually operate is here. They operate in the facade space. In terms of the Tuckman stages of team development, they're norming. All right, so we're doing okay. We've got mediocre performance. We're okay with it. It's not bad, but it's not great. If you've ever heard of Jim Collins's book, Good to Great, this is great, this is good. We could do better. We're not sharing what we really think and feel, particularly around performance. And in one of the later episodes, we're going to have a look at feedback. There's a culture globally around avoiding telling people about their performance and giving them feedback, because we worry about how they're going to react. So if we're thinking in terms of Tuckman, what he says is you form here, then you storm, so you form, you storm, you norm, and you perform. So when we form, We're in the complete unknown. I don't know enough about you. You don't know anything about me. We're in that unknown space. So we have to start sharing what we do know, and we have to encourage the other person to listen. When we're in that storming stage, if any of you have played competitive sport, you would know that here, this is where you go to trials, and you go and try out for a team. And then they put you in a team. And then everybody's got their elbows out and everyone's trying to work out how they fit in the team, because the silly selectors put 3 centre halves in the one team. And everybody wants to play centre half, and they've all got their arms out trying to work out, pick me, who's there? How are we going to make this team work? So storming is where you have a lot of blind spots. People are not listening, and they're not sharing what they really want to share. So we're operating in the very ineffective space of blind spots. And we need to shift the team from here to here as quickly as possible. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to share with you. And obviously, we're limited by time that I could talk about this for.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.